Excuse me, Congresswoman.
Okay? Yes.
Could you tell me what's your take on defunding qualified immunity?
What is this though? Is this your Facebook?
I'm the Resistance. I record in public. I record everything I can see. You can't trespass the eyes. Check out my YouTube channel, The Resistance.
Today's show and The View.
I'm just a picture in a frame. Pause. I don't control. I paint word pictures. I don't control the colors. I'm everywhere in public.
She's gonna be the first black female president of the United States.
Look, I support the defund movement because what it's about is investment in the funding of our communities, which have historically been divested in and underfunded. And so, to me, although first responders do have a role to play in society, they shouldn't be playing a role in every part of society.
Right.
We shouldn't have more school police than we have school nurses. I don't think they should be there at all. You know, we should be making the investment in social emotional wellness support, school nurses, social workers, psychotherapists. We know what works. We know what supports the wellness of our kids, but we don't fund it, right? I don't think that our officers want to be administering Narcan. I'm getting at that with the introducing of my bill to end qualified immunity, so that if officers do operate with egregious misconduct or brutality, that they can be held accountable. The greatest deterrent to that behavior, because racism is corrosive and systemic, is consequences. And right now there's been no consequences. There's been no accountability. And that's why there's been no justice. We have in Massachusetts 855,000 federal borrowers. So that student debt is a burden, and we should eliminate that. That is about racial justice, but that's also about full economic recovery. So to me, we can't be serious, or we're not, about a comprehensive economic recovery if we're not prioritizing the cancellation of student debt. Yeah. I'm sorry, you have one more question. Is it okay?
Probably not some smart thing to assassinate as the conversation. The window for policy then is wide, right? You know, where there's actually, it seems like things that people have been fighting for decades are actually legal. What are some of your top priorities?
Well, as I was saying, you know, we're seeing a culture shift. We need to see a power shift. And so if you think about the different boycotts and movements throughout the civil rights movement, which we're still in. People like to think there's a book in. We're still in it. The organizing and the mobilizing was about law change. So until we see law change, and until we see black humanity, dignity, health, you know, codified in our budget, then we've not been successful. So this is about funding our communities, investing in our communities. If you are serious about Black Lives Mattering, then that means that black data matters, black research matters, black homeownership matters, which is the lowest it's been, you know, since the Fair Housing Act was introduced, right? It means that black student debt matters. Black business matters. You know, we have to be strident and precise, Yabu, because the disproportionate hurt and harm that's been legislated on black folks was very precise. It was discriminatory, it was draconian, it was precise. So we have to be precise. Now,
so you had a bill on ending police impunity, I forget what it's called.
Qualified immunity. Yeah. So,
I mean, that's one of those things that signals a change in, like, there should be a change in attitude. The attitude with which policymakers and law enforcement police. It's like a rebalancing of power.
Again, we need to see a power shift, right? And so if you believe Black Lives Matter, then you believe that justice matters for the black lives that we've been robbed of, okay? You know, I can't even approximate how many black lives have been surveyed, policed, choked, brutalized, lynched, murdered, right? And so in order for there to be justice, there has to be accountability. I mean, real justice would be all these people will still be alive, but there must at least be accountability. And so the qualified immunity is something that came out of the Supreme Court that created protections for law enforcement, and it's just been codified and strengthened in court case after court case. When we had that historic ruling on LGBTQ discrimination the other day in the Supreme Court, they were considering taking up QI, but I'm glad they didn't, because I think they would have only strengthened it, right? And so that qualified immunity, those set of protections, has meant that officers could operate with callous disregard for human life, for black lives, with great impunity, without any retribution, without any accountability, and so without any justice. How do you deter behavior if there are no consequences? We appreciate when officers are fired. You know, they often put on administrative leave but still getting paid. And chiefs of police, just as we saw in Atlanta, resign. But the justice is when people are held accountable for murder and they are prosecuted, because no one is above the law, including officers. So I introduced this unqualified immunity bill with Representative Justin Amash. We also have Republican support. It's the first tri-partisan bill in the history of Congress, because we have an independent, a Republican, and a Democrat, and myself. And so I'm fighting very hard for that to be included as we're talking about accountability and reforms. I also introduced the Andrew Kersey Act, which I can't believe we have to legislate this, but it requires officers to provide medical aid, to render medical aid to people in their custody who are in need. And that's informed by a state case where, not in Massachusetts, but where Andrew Kersey was pleading for medical intervention and help. He was in police custody. He had been arrested for driving in a wayward way, and they did not call an ambulance, and he went into cardiac arrest and died, and left behind a wife and 4 children. And so we had a meeting with that family and then decided to address it on the federal level. So that Andrew Kersey Act was introduced by myself and Senator Warren. The other thing is we got to ban no-knock warrants, chokeholds, and we have got to stop the militarization of our police force. So I also introduced a bill to stop the redistribution of military-grade equipment, the transfer of military-grade equipment to our police departments. If you're going to give folks military-grade equipment, are they going to go into a community to protect and serve? They're going to go in and war with the community when you're arming them with those tools. So we have to stop the militarization of our police force, which I think is a broader conversation about budgets, about how much we invest in defense. And I want to say this on the defund movement specifically, because I think people are trying to co-opt it. The defund movement is not a new movement. What this is about is investment in communities that have historically, Black communities, been divested in, right? And so first responders have a role to play in society, but they don't need to play a role in every part of society, and they don't want to, y'all. Why are they administering Narcan when we should be investing in on-demand substance use, right? Culturally competent care. They don't want to be called to a school because 2 girls are fighting. We should be investing in trauma-informed learning communities, restorative justice practices. That's why when I was on the council, I voted down more school police. I voted down the budget because I knew we needed a school nurse, social workers, psychotherapists. Because it's proven that when we make those social-emotional wellness supports in our students and make that investment, the learning community is safer and they have a readiness to learn. So y'all, the point is, we know what works, we just don't fund it. That is the point. One of the other things I fought for on the council with Anissa Stabby George was that when our police are deployed to the home of someone battling mental health, that the ride-along includes a mental health clinician. But they shouldn't be going there at all, and they don't want to. So first responders do have a role to play in society, but they should not be playing a role in every part of society. We have got to reimagine how to keep our communities healthier and safer. And that is about our budgets, if they're really serious about Black lives. And that's the thing, is like the federal government, I'm gonna do my part. I'm gonna fight, for those investments. But our governors and our mayors can, with the stroke of a pen, when we're talking about city contracts, we're talking about city budgets, they can effectuate that change that will be more immediately, more quickly felt. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know if that sounds good. Yeah. I feel like I don't know how you guys talk to this thing. I'm like yelling, but it's like I
need to say to you,
yeah.
I came one time and I saw it.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for that encouragement.
What's up, Pressman? What y'all giving out here today?
So we're doing all right, man. Give us some hand sanitizers and masks.
Oh, okay.
You want one there?
No, thank you.
Okay.
How you doing? You all right?
I'm hanging in there.
All right, man. Good to see you again.